Hello everyone, my name is Keith Washington. I'm the VP of Products here at CPA Site Solutions, and I want to welcome you to this webinar today. There's a number of people here, and you'll be joining, some will be joining as we start the presentation. So I just want to spend a minute just to give a little bit of information about the webinar and answer questions that most people have at the beginning of the webinar, and so that we can really focus. Just to let you know a couple of things, there should be a survey at the end of this webinar. It's a short 3-question survey that we ask to help us improve our webinars. As soon as you exit the webinar at the end, I'd really appreciate it if you take that survey to help us get better in terms of our webinars. A number of people usually ask a couple of questions. Number one, can I have access to the presentation, and are we recording this presentation? And the answer is yes to both of those questions. We do record all of our presentations, and so we will provide you with a link to our recording, so you don't have to furiously take notes or try to write everything down. It's really good just to sit back and listen and take in the information. Also, at any time during this presentation, you can ask me questions. I can't hear you. You can only hear me. But there's a little questions box in the in your GoToWebinar panel. Now, because I am presenting, I won't spend a lot of time looking at questions while I'm talking. But at the end of the presentation, I will peruse the questions boxes and make sure that I answer any questions. Either I'll answer them online for everyone to hear, or I will type in the answer for everyone to see, or if it's a specific question about your specific needs, I can also answer the question online directly to you. So we'll have some time for Q&A at the end of this presentation. So thanks properly for joining this presentation. And this presentation is really interesting because we're going to talk about a topic that maybe some of you know about, maybe not all of you know about, but some of you know about it, and it's really about how to use pay-per-click marketing to enhance your online marketing presence. The use of online communication really continues to expand, and I think we all know that. Even now, probably half of you have your screen up, you're seeing the presentation, and you're either on your Facebook page or you're using another screen or your phone to send a text. And so this concept of online communication is really rapidly growing. And the challenges of both online and offline or traditional marketing for a business or a small business are numerous. How do I do online marketing? Or questions like, isn't online marketing for people who are chasing clients? Also, how can I maintain my professionalism? And measuring success seems to be a difficult, if not impossible, task. So today, I'm going to talk about marketing your firm, and specifically about using pay-per-click marketing to get more clients. And really, our whole goal at CPA Site Solutions is to use online websites and marketing to help you get more clients. That's really the purpose of us being here, so it's a passion of ours. And when you think about marketing, and I've talked about this maybe in another presentation just at the beginning, that the marketing return on investment problem is best, really encapsulated by John Wanamaker, who was really the father of marketing, where he said, half the money I spend on advertising is wasted. The trouble is I don't know which half. And if you think about marketing in the small business, or even take, for example, television, a recent study by Nielsen showed that big companies allocate about 50 or 60% of their media budget to television, when only 18% of TV advertising campaigns actually generate a positive ROI. And small businesses, tax practices like yours, or accounting practices, or CPA practices, or bookkeeping practices, whatever your specialty is, has even bigger challenges, because it seems like you have very limited ability to measure results. And unlike some of these bigger companies which have whole media or marketing divisions, marketing isn't something you want to spend a lot of time focusing on. You got into this business because you're an expert in your field. You love being able to take care of clients and help them in their financial needs or their tax needs. And marketing is just one of the things that you have to do. And so being able to achieve a true ROI on marketing is a difficult, if not impossible, task. The core objective in measuring ROI of your marketing initiatives is to prioritize your investments in relevant communication channels. So you take your investment priorities and you think about your communication channels and you add them up in ways that deliver maximum returns for your firm. And so when you think about some of the challenges you have of getting new clients, and there was a study by small businesses citing as a percentage of people citing these things as a huge challenge. It really comes down to these tranches. Number one, time. So it's about you're spending most of the time to make sure that you have happy clients. You may be a sole practitioner, so you have to do everything yourself. So it's time to get everything done, managing everything myself. Whether or not you have money to invest in your ideas, and I'm going to talk a little bit about online marketing as opposed to traditional marketing, but you really want to make sure that you are investing in the right ideas that you have, and you want to make sure that you're investing in the right resources in your company. And then the third tranche is marketing savvy, as I talked about. Not just you, but most small businesses think about how do I generate quality leads, how do I get people interested in the service that I have, and then how do I convert them into customers, and really that takes marketing expertise. When you look at the top traditional, or really call them traditional or offline marketing activities, the number one marketing activity is word of mouth, customer referrals, and that's not going to change. Whether you move into online or use traditional marketing, most companies rely, most small businesses rely on word of mouth to get customer referrals, and that's a big piece of everything you do. I will let you know, and will hope that you think about this. Word of mouth is even moving online, whether it be in likes on your social media page, reviews that you get on some of the online review sites. That's word of mouth too, and whether or not it's positive or negative really can have an impact on the number of referrals that you get. Networking is also a key component of traditional marketing activities, events or event sponsorship. Some of these things you do. Direct mail and flyers are really a key offline or traditional marketing activity. And then you can see the others, including print ads. Some small businesses do TV and radio ads, and then others. But really, it's important to know that these traditional marketing activities won't necessarily go away when you think about migrating or using online marketing. The most common traditional marketing tools are Yellow Pages. Most companies still use Yellow Pages or a brochure, print advertising, direct mail, and you can see the list. But this is how people, rank, how small businesses rank their traditional marketing. And there's nothing wrong with traditional marketing. And in fact, it's an important component of a good marketing strategy. You really should have traditional marketing as a part of your online strategy. But the point is that digital marketing or online marketing is taking off. Just want to make sure is taking off. And the facts are that online marketing outperforms all forms of traditional advertising. And if you combine both traditional and digital marketing or online marketing, that resulted in the highest return on investment. So the takeaway is that online marketing, when you think about online marketing, I'll talk about what that means, is not an either or, but should be a blend with traditional advertising. And firms who are primarily focused on traditional advertising, if you're not spending any money on online marketing and advertising, you should start to migrate your budgets to digital marketing. And so when we talk about the cost to do some of these activities, I really want to encourage you that it's not just about spending more money, but it's about where you spend your money that's important. So when we think about online marketing, I really want to make sure that you understand what distinguishes online or digital marketing from traditional marketing. And the thing that makes it different is that most of it is called permission-based marketing. And permission-based marketing is really the consumer has given you permission to market to them. Seth Godin, who's the author of this book, great book called Permission Marketing, said one way to sell a consumer something in the future is to simply get his or her permission in advance. And online marketing is a great permission marketing tool. So it's really giving the client something that they're specifically looking for. So when someone performs an internet search, and we all perform internet searches for everything that we do, whether it be for finding a business online, or what time is Costco open, to finding the nearest food for me. Everyone on a regular basis performs an internet search. And permission-based marketing is really providing a client with something, a response, when they perform that internet search. Some types of permission-based marketing include what we're going to talk about today: pay-per-click advertising, what's called organic search or search engine optimization. That means people who are making sure your firm gets found. Opt-in emails. So if someone has a newsletter subscription with you, that's permission-based marketing because they've said, I want to hear from you. And social media, friending and liking and following. People who are connected to your social media site have given you permission to market to them. And that's dramatically different in really key ways from what's called interruption marketing. TV commercials is a key interruption marketing. You're watching a TV show and you're interrupted with a commercial. Radio ads, newspaper ads or circulars, direct mail campaigns. If I get tons of direct mail, I didn't ask for that direct mail, but I got the direct mail even though I didn't want it. And I may be interested in what I see in direct mail, but it still is interruption marketing. So some of the benefits of permission marketing are really high. Number one, it's cost efficient. Permission marketing compared to interruption marketing uses relatively low cost online tools: social media, search engine optimization, emails, which are basically free. And by only marketing to people who have expressed an interest in receiving these marketing components, you can lower your marketing costs because you are really targeting a captive or a customer or a potential customer who really is interested in it. Number two, it has a higher conversion rate. As the targeted audience, since they're those who expressed an interest in your product, it's easier to convert these people into clients. I'm looking for your service. I have a higher chance of buying what you have. It's personalized also. It's really important to note that permission marketing allows businesses to run personalized campaigns. So it allows you as a business to target specific audiences, whether it be geographical location. So I really only want to advertise to people within 20 miles of my business, or according to their age or gender or the things that they're looking for. So if your company is focused on tax services or financial planning, you can target your marketing to people who are looking for these types of services. And probably just as important, it maintains your marketing reputation. Unlike interruption marketing, where consumers can be bombarded with marketing messages, permission marketing only sends information to those who are anticipating this information. Therefore, prospects who receive the information don't necessarily feel discomfort about you or your business. It's really different if you're coming along saying, hey, here I am, as opposed to someone says, please tell me if you're out there. So when I just talked about permission-based tools being things like search engine optimization, email, and social media, today we're really going to focus on pay-per-click marketing. So what is pay-per-click marketing or pay-per-click advertising? The definition is that it's an internet-based advertising model used to direct traffic to websites by having advertisers, that's you, the advertiser, pay the search engine like Google, Yahoo, and Bing when their ads are on the search engine results are clicked. So when you have an ad and it's clicked, you pay the publisher like Google, Yahoo, and Bing, and that is why it's called pay-per-click advertising. So think about it. First of all, it's permission-based, and the theory is if potential customers are searching for services that you offer and that your competitors offer, by the way, and you can place yourself at the top of the list, and you only have to pay if they choose to go to your website, then everyone wins. In the old days, it used to be, if you think about yellow pages, the best way to be found in the yellow pages if someone was searching for your business is to make sure that your name started with A. So if you were a plumbing business, it's A1 Plumbing. And that way when someone scrolls through the yellow pages, they see A1 Plumbing first. And so we had a lot of companies that were called A1 whatever, A1 Tax Services, A1 Accountants. You triple A1. I think there was a great commercial about our name is AAAAA because we want it to be found. Well, pay-per-click advertising takes that to the next level because now people are actually searching just like they are in yellow pages, and you only pay not to be listed, but only pay if someone actually goes to your website and chooses to look at your services. It's a cost-per-click model. It's also been referred to as PPC, CPC, sponsored ads, sponsored links, all the same. Google's program is the most common. It's also known as Google AdWords. And you don't pay for the number of people who look at your ad, which is called an impression. You only pay when your ad is clicked, bringing the prospect to your website. And I'm going to talk a little bit, but let's show you first what it really looks like. So in this particular case, I have searched for income tax preparation San Diego. And if you've seen this, this is a typical Google page, but the first three things that I see on the screen are ads. And you can tell they're ads because it says on the left-hand side, ad, ad, ad. So a company called Copeland Benner CPAs has paid to be placed on the top, tritechcheck.com and scriptswealth.com. These are the companies that were paid advertising. Also, if you look on the right-hand side, these are also paid ads. Now think about this. Look below the top three ads. Then you get a map with the top three map searches by Google. So these are companies that have been optimized for Google. And because of the size of my screen, I don't see the search engine results now below the fold because Google is really charging now for real estate on their search engine. So if you really think about that, I'm going to go in and type in, it's really probably upsetting to Copeland Benner CPAs, but I picked the third one, and this is what I got to when I picked Scripps Wealth Management, their ad. By the way, before, notice the difference in the ads. The first ad just says, contact us today. The second ad by trycheck.com has a phone number that you can click on and then contact us today. Scripps Wealth has a description of their services, a couple of links to schedule a consultation, extended hours, and then links to landing pages that drive home if you're interested in tax planning and wealth management. So all of these are three different ways that companies have used to set up their pay-per-click ad, and how you set that up is really important in terms of whether or not you get shown and whether or not people will click on your ad. So I clicked on the link for Scripps Wealth Management, and I went to what's called a landing page. I did not go to their home page. I went to a page that really focuses on what they offer in the area that I was interested in. So remember, I said I was interested in tax preparation in San Diego, and this is what I got, was a landing page which gives me some information and then a contact us page. So now I am a lead who has the opportunity to go directly into contact us. If I wanted to, I could go to their home page, and notice this is the traditional page that you would see for Scripps Wealth Management. So that's different than what I've seen before. I hope that made that pretty clear. A landing page is a little bit separate from a home page on a website, and a good advertising campaign will have landing pages that are matched up with the types of things that people are searching for. So I want to spend a little bit of time talking about the benefits of pay-per-click. And pay-per-click can be a really lucrative part of your online marketing strategy. And these are some of the reasons why. Number one, it's measurable. So you can measure results. You can see through reports in a dashboard what your campaign or how you're spending your money and how many people are clicking on your website, and you can actually determine conversion rates of number of people who click or call you based on that advertising. It's flexible. You can start and stop pay-per-click campaigns. You can change the size of your budget based on seasonality, based on whatever's important to your business. So if, for instance, it's middle of July and you decide that you're going to be on vacation for 2 weeks and you don't want to have pay-per-click campaigns run because your office is going to be closed, you can pause your pay-per-click advertising so that you're not wasting money for people who click on your website, call you, and then go elsewhere. It's 24/7. It's unlike, and just like your website is, which is 24/7, but unlike some of the other things which, like if I dial on the yellow pages, I can only call you, or I may think to get your phone number, and you're not in the office at 10 o'clock at night. Pay-per-click advertising runs all of the time. It's local, so you can set the geographic region so that you can make sure that you're not getting people clicking on your website from 3,000 miles away or 2,000 miles away, and it's targeted so that you can really have people who are just looking for the services you're offering. So for instance, if you don't do QuickBooks consulting and someone types in QuickBooks consulting, you won't be found and you won't be having to tell them, well, I really don't do that, or spending money on people who are clicking on your site. It provides targeted leads to your firm. So this is really important, that the lion's share of the market using Google AdWords is really easy to think about. And there are plenty of businesses that have driven traffic to their site from and marketed their products and services and increased their sales by leveraging Google and or Bing. There are a lot of businesses, and I've talked to them, who stay away from pay-per-click because they believe that it eats into a large portion of your marketing spend. But AdWords can deliver measurable results, and that's really important and can be worth the investment, especially as you're thinking about moving into the early part of next year. Because you can get targeted leads to your firm. You get to set the monthly budget for your advertising, so you determine what you want to spend. And with Google AdWords pay-per-click having 70% of the PPC market, you usually want to start with Google AdWords. Some more benefits about pay-per-click. You can get immediate results. From the time that ad campaign is placed into Google AdWords, you can get results. You can have people clicking on your ads, seeing your ads, first of all, based on things that they're searching for, and then clicking on your ads, and then you being able to convert them into prospects and into customers. You get measurable results. So with the dashboards and the components, you can really see number of people who have clicked, who they are. You can track calls. You can really have a much more targeted campaign rather than if you sent out a direct mail campaign. Unless you ask a potential customer all of the time, how did you hear about us? And they happen to remember that I got it from a flyer. And then you check that box somewhere in your practice management tool or your customer relationship management tool or your Outlook tool. It's hard for you to measure the success of a direct mail campaign. So it's really important that you can measure your results and then make decisions. It's much more cost-effective than many other advertising methods because you're able to target it much better. Maintenance is very easy, and as I said before, you can start, you can stop your campaigns, or you can just pause your campaigns for a couple of weeks or even a day if you want. I really do want to make sure you know that I'm making it sound pretty easy, but a lot of work goes into building a winning PPC campaign or pay-per-click campaign. I have seen businesses who spent, I remember talking to a customer about his pay-per-click campaign, and he said, yeah, I met this guy, and he said he did pay-per-click, and I spent $5,000 over a 2-month period, and I got no results or very little results. And that's because a lot of work goes into making sure that your campaign is a winner, making sure that your advertising is correct. You have to research and select the right keywords and then organize these keywords into campaigns and ad groups, and then set up your landing pages, as I show, to make sure that they're optimized for conversion. And then you have to track your clicks and calls from the ads. So a lot of companies a lot of small businesses, you can do this yourself. I've talked to customers in many different ranges of the spectrum. Number one, people who say, I don't know what pay-per-click is. You can't say that after today, and I really don't think it'll work for me. Number two, I'm interested, and I think that I should get some help with it. And then number three, I have talked to clients who are so into pay-per-click, who are just as good as we are at being able to run pay-per-click campaigns. So it really depends on how much time you want to spend, but really you have to make sure that you understand that search engines like Google reward advertisers who can create really relevant and intelligently targeted pay-per-click campaigns, and the way they do that is they charge them less for ad clicks. So if your ads and your landing pages are useful and satisfying to users, Google charges you less per click, leading to higher profits for your business. But it's important to learn how to do it right. I do want to point out, I'm getting a number of questions already, and I just want to make sure that everyone knows I will answer your questions. It's hard for me to do it while I'm talking, but I will answer your questions in a question and answer period at the end of the presentation. So how does it work? I just wanted to spin. I'm not going to go into the great details. Just know that Google and Bing and all of the search engines have complex algorithms that run every second, in milliseconds, on every time someone searches. But I just wanted to give you a high level of how an online auction, it's really a pay-per-click auction, that actually drives what ads show up. And Google made, I think it was last year, over $32 billion in advertising revenue on pay-per-click advertising. So if you think about really important terms, some of the prized auction items, the things that really are very expensive to get, words like insurance. You know, where big companies pay when someone types in insurance, you want to get your ad there, or loans, or mortgage, or attorney. These are really prized auction items. So how does it actually work? It all starts with a query. If you remember, I typed in income tax preparation in San Diego, I think that was the word. And keywords, income, tax, preparation, San Diego, those are keywords. They're not search queries, because specific keywords like income tax could be entered into an auction for a wide range of queries. So income tax could be entered into the auction under income tax or tax preparation or even tax attorney, depending on your match type. So Google looks at all of the advertisers in the pool and determines, first of all, is there going to be an auction, and two, which keywords are being bid on, and you as an advertiser automatically would bid on certain keywords. Then you identify which keywords you want to bid on, and then Google enters the keyword from your account that it deems to be most relevant to the auction with the maximum bid that you've specified. And I'm going to show you this in a little bit. But remember, that third company, I typed in income tax preparation, and they looked into this particular company's Scripps Wealth Management's advertising section and realized that they had income tax preparation as a valuable keyword, and so they were entered into the auction. And so Google, which has 3, maybe 4 spaces for advertising, has to determine which ad is shown. And the determination of which ad is shown is based on this simple thing: your ad rank. And that's based on how much you bid for a given keyword times your quality score. And the quality score is this metric that they use that's based on a number of different components. It's how relevant your ad is, how useful your ad is, how much experience, positive experience have customers received from your advertising, and that determines your quality score. So it's a combination of how much you bid times your quality score to get you your ad rank. Let me give you an example of this. So think we have 4 advertisers. Imagine we have 4 advertisers. And the first advertiser says, for a given word, let's use income tax preparation, a given keyword, I'm willing to pay $2 for that word. But my quality score is 10 because I have great landing pages. My keywords match. I'm getting a lot of responses to my ads. So my quality score is a 10. Google says $2 times 10 means your ad rank is 20. Advertiser number 2 who comes along and says, I'm willing to pay $4 for that keyword, but their ad rank, their quality score is only 4, meaning that their ad rank is 16. Advertiser 3 who says, I'm willing to pay $6 for that campaign, their quality score is only 2, so their ad rank is 12, and so you can see on and on and on. Even though advertiser 4 says, I'm willing to pay $8 to be shown as an advertiser, because their quality score is so low, they never get shown. And so I have seen companies who do one of two things. Number one, they're willing to pay a lot of money, but their quality score is so low, and they don't spend their budget, and they get frustrated because their ad isn't being shown, meaning they're not getting any responses. Or they're only willing to spend 50 cents for an ad, and because the bids are usually $1 or 90 cents that wins, they never get shown, and of course they get frustrated because they don't get shown on the Google, and they never actually spend their monthly budget. But it's really a combination of your bid and your quality score. So quality score is really important, and let me show you why. These auctions are run billions of times each month. And the results are, and it's really important, potential customers find ads that are relevant to what they're looking for because of the quality score. And you, as an advertiser, get to connect with potential customers at the lowest possible price. I'll show you what that means. When advertiser 1 gets clicked on, and remember, you only pay when your ad is clicked on, but when that advertiser 1's ad gets clicked on, here's how much they pay. Google takes the quality score, the ad rank of the advertiser just below them, they divide it by your quality score and add 1 penny. So advertiser 1 who bid $2 for that particular click paid $1.61. If someone clicked on advertiser 2's ad, they paid $3.01. They bid $4. The quality score, the ad rank of the person below them was a 12, and so it's 12 divided by 4 plus 1 penny. So just note how important is a combination of your maximum bid and your quality score to determine, first of all, if you get ranked, and number 2, what your ad rank is. So you pay the minimum amount that you can pay for the position you win if your ad is clicked on. That's pretty cool. So it's not just that Google is saying whoever pays the most wins. It's a combination, and so that it really minimizes your spend because it's providing, because you, if you're good, can provide the best results. And really, Google is about making sure that when people search, they're finding great results. So how would you determine your monthly PPC, your monthly pay-per-click budget? And these are just rules of thumb in terms of budgets. And we really recommend that someone start, really have to have a minimum of $400 per month. It doesn't mean that you spend $400 every given month. It's only if your ad is clicked on. But we really think about, if you're in a small market and you have light competition and or limited services, you would put in your monthly budget about $400. And these are really just guidelines. Ambitious, $700, and aggressive, $1,000. So I know companies that spend $4,000 or $5,000, and I'm going to show you why in this example. Let's imagine that you had a $1,000 monthly AdWords budget. So you just have to know this is how much you're putting into the Google spend, or into your Google spend. Just remember that most companies do also charge a management fee if you want to make sure that you're maximizing that spend. But let's say you have a $1,000 AdWords budget, and the cost per click that you're paying is $1.50 for every click, and that every month, or this one month, if you spent all of the $1,000, you had 667 visits from this ad, from a given ad on a Google search. Now let's just say your conversion rate is only 1%, meaning that of the 667 people who clicked on your website, who went to your landing page, only 1% of them actually became customers. That means 660 people clicked on your website and did not become customers, but 6 of them did, almost 7 of them did. And let's say that you can estimate that you're going to make $500 for every customer that you have. You get revenue of $500 for every customer that you have. It may be lower, it may be higher, but your total revenue is $3,335. You spent $1,000, you got $3,000. That's an ROI of 234%. You would think that that's pretty good, even though you only got 6 customers, but you spent $1,000 to get those 6 customers. And as I've said before, remember, you tracked it and it's measurable. So it's not that you spent $1,000 and you don't know what happened. Maybe you got 6 customers. I think I may have gotten 2 customers. This is highly measurable. Now, let's say you decided, you know, this is really working and it's tax season and I really want to make sure that I maximize it. And so you say, next month I want to spend $3,000. I know that for some practices that's a lot of money and for some practices it's not, but let's just use the example. You could say, you can, say $300, but let's say it was $3,000. And you got better because your quality score became better, you optimized your keywords, your engagement was much higher, you knew what the right targeted words were, so that your average cost per click went down to $1. So now you're getting 3,000 monthly visits, and let's also say that you got much better and you upped your conversion rate to 1.5%. So that means 45 people from those 3,000 became customers. Let's assume that your revenue is still $500. For those 45 customers, you made $222,000. $22,500 on a $3,000 spend. That's an ROI of 650%. So you can see that it's really a way to help you grow fast. It's a way to help you see the impact to your business, and you can control that budget anytime you want. Now, I just want to transition into a topic that people want to know whether or not they should go with search engine optimization or pay-per-click. And just remember just to note the benefits or the differences between pay-per-click and search engine optimization. Pay-per-click is really, as I talked about, really quicker to launch. It's easier to edit, and you get a lot more data points to analyze. And you can really fine-tune your return on investment. It's a highly targeted campaign through ad copy, so you're not getting people, people who are looking for tax services. It turns out they call you up and says, I just want to know if you have tax forms. Really, in search engine optimization, if you typed in tax and they happen to get you, you don't really get the targeted search that you would on an ad. And it works only until you end the campaign, so it's not something that you have to, have all the time. Search engine optimization takes longer to see the results. However, it uses broader descriptions that link to really relevant website content. So think about pay-per-click as highly targeted, pinpointed advertising, and search engine optimization as much more broad-based advertising. For search engine optimization, when you pay for it, you can get as many clicks as you want, and you don't have to pay for clicks. And the benefits of search engine optimization lasts for months, so you're not having to worry about, regularly optimizing campaigns and paying for each click that you have. So there are really differences between search engine optimization, and we believe that if you combine search engine optimization, and most companies believe this, with pay-per-click, you have the best value, because search engine optimization has a much more greater long-term value. It provides you with exposure and branding awareness. Search engine optimization, if you are found on page 1, when someone searches for you organically or searches for business types of services that you offer, when you're on page 1, that's Google saying that your business is relevant, or Bing saying your business is relevant, and people value that. You get a much higher volume of visits, and users trust organic, as I pointed out. With pay-per-click, you get immediate results right away. It's really highly measurable. You only pay for results, and you need fewer resources for getting success. Search engine optimization takes more time to build up your brand, but it's both of them are very important, or can be very important, to a campaign. I want to show you an extreme example of the combination of search engine optimization and pay-per-click. If I typed in American Express, of course, you know I would get American Express. But look what American Express does, and most you could do this with Walmart or any big box store. If I typed in American Express, first of all, the top two positions are ads, AmericanExpress.com. So they're advertising their credit cards and then their main site. Right under that is a search engine optimization result. Of course, they'd show up first because I typed in the name of their company. But notice also on the right-hand side, they have a review or links to their business where you can get phone numbers, you can get information about their headquarters, you can get information, you can click to their Facebook page, their Twitter feed, their LinkedIn page, and then other results. So this is really the combination of pay-per-click and search engine optimization on steroids. It's a really powerful way of seeing how you can or a company can really dominate a page when it's typed on. Some pay-per-click tips that I want to give you, whether I think you may know by now our company offers pay-per-click advertising services as well as search engine optimization. So just a few tips if you choose us or no matter who you choose. First of all, you should not sign a long-term contract with pay-per-click, especially if you're just starting out. Try to make sure that you only go for, sign up for 3 or 6 months initially. Some vendors want a 12-month contract, but if they don't deliver the results you were told to expect, you don't want to keep throwing good money after bad. So make sure you can get out early for poor results. Number 2, make sure you know your campaign manager because you want to know if this campaign is being run by a person or a robot. A lot of search engine or pay-per-click programs are fully automated and they lack the fine-tuning of a program run by a trained person who understands keywords in your practice area or in your particular discipline. If it's a person, can you call that person to discuss your campaign? Can you have a dedicated account manager? And dedicated account managers or specialists really add value to your campaign. Even if you do have a campaign manager, learn how to read the dashboard yourself because you should understand, and it's not hard to understand, but you can really get a good sense of how you can tell if your program's working. So ask them to walk you through some of the campaigns. Make sure that you spend enough. Okay, after you get your initial set of keywords and your geo-targets, ask them to show you what the average cost of those keywords are. What is your cost per click? Because you want to make sure that you're getting the right number of clicks on your campaigns. If you say, I really only want to spend $5 a month, you're not going to get any clicks. But if your average cost per click is $6 and you want to get 10 clicks, you have to make sure that you're spending enough money to get those clicks. Also, know how much of your monthly fee, so every company charges a fee, know how much of your monthly fee is for spend. In other words, how much is actually going into your AdWords campaign. If a company says to you, well, it's going to cost $600 a month to run your campaign, and they don't tell you how much of the money is for them versus how much of the money goes to the actual clicks, then that's not a company you want to trust because they could take $500 to manage the campaign and only put $100 in your budget. There are other companies also that charge a percentage of your spend, and if you do that, you can generate management fees that are 25 to 40% of whatever number of clicks that you want. And so you always have to know how much of your monthly fee is for spend. So that's really an overall look at pay-per-click and just a quick look at pay-per-click and some of the benefits of click, as well as I hope a good overview of how it works. And I just want to spend just 1 minute telling you how CPA Site Solutions can help. And this is just to let you know, and as a matter of fact, I have a number of questions from people wanting to know about our service, but we provide PPC or pay-per-click specialists who really manage your campaign, develop strategies for your campaigns, develop the landing page. They also do ongoing reporting and regularly optimize your PPC spend. So we'll update keywords, ad groups, or track your performance on a regular basis so you don't have to. And then, even though you can call us at any time, but we also have regularly scheduled engagement calls to make sure that if by chance you've changed your strategy, potentially you have a new service that you'd like to offer or advertise, or you have a new overall strategy to your business, we check in to make sure that the ads that are being run match your strategy. As a matter of fact, at just one more point about this, our team right now has a special towards the end of the year where if you bundle search engine optimization and pay-per-click advertising, you can see that there's a bundled discount. So I really just want to make sure you know that this is an option for you to take a look at. A number of people, there's people who run these campaigns yourself. I just want to encourage you, especially in this at this time of year, as you're thinking about how you're going to spend marketing dollars next year, whether it be with direct mail or search engine optimization or improving your website, changing your brand, to take a look at pay-per-click as another component of your marketing strategy. You don't necessarily have to spend a lot more money. You just have to think about where you want to spend your money. So if you're really interested in this, and I hope that this presentation has been helpful to you, all you have to do is give us a call at 888-437-4794. One of the only things you should jot down is that phone number, because this is a number that is special for this particular webinar and with the special discounts that we offer for people who attended this webinar. You should call that number and they will answer any questions that you have, and really, whatever information you need more about pay-per-click. So I really hope that this presentation has been helpful to you. I'm going to spend a few minutes. Just give me a minute to take a look at the questions that you have and to see, and this is your time to ask any questions that you have. If you don't have any questions, please, I want to remind you to take a look at the survey or answer the survey that comes up at the end of this presentation. Also note, if you join late, that this webinar is being recorded, and we will make this recording available to anyone after this webinar. So let me just take a look at a couple of questions that people have had. If the monthly budget is not used, will the balance carry over to the next month, or do you lose it? You do not lose your monthly budget. If you do not spend it, it does get carried over. Google only charges you, in our instance, we put your credit card on the Google file, and you only get charged for the actual amount that you spend. You do not get charged. You set the monthly budget, but you only get charged for whatever you spend. So it's not like you pay it and then hope that it works. Is the cost for unique clicks or any clicks? That's a really good question. It is for unique clicks. So if I go into your website or go into search engine and I just click on ad 5 or 6 times or 20 times, you do not get charged every time I click on that website. I actually had someone ask me the question, said that my competitor uses pay-per-click advertising. Can I spend all of his money just by clicking on his ad? Well, Google and all of the search engines are much more sophisticated than that. So you do not pay for just clicks from the same people. There was one person who pointed out that the ROI calculation does not include the cost of the services. That is correct. So the ROI component only includes what the ROI slides I show said how much you spend on the Google, the actual Google spend. So it is slightly overstated, but not significantly overstated, because depending on the company that you work with, the cost for management of your pay-per-click spend can either be a lot or a little, and you should talk to our company about what our costs are. There was someone who asked me to explain search engine optimization one more time. If you type in a search, it's really this simple. If you go in and type in, you search for a business like shoe repair, at the top of a search engine, at the top is usually an ad. In the middle of that is usually a map of local shoe repair shops, and then under that are the top 4 or 5 companies that Google has shown with websites that have shoe repair. The reason they show up is because their content on their website has been optimized for being searched on. And so search engine optimization is the concept of spending time on your website and its relevant pages to be indexed appropriately so that you can be put on the top of search engines when someone searches for you. So unlike ads, it's something it's called organic because Google is searching through to make sure your content and your website is relevant, and then it's showing up right under the map usually for Google. We actually have a presentation on search engine optimization that I think we'll run those again next year, or you can ask for someone to give you a copy, or one of us to give you a copy. I have a question. Does CPA Site Solutions charge a monthly or a one-time fee for providing the service? We do have a setup fee, and if you remember the slide above, that we have a discount for that setup fee before the end of the year, and we have a monthly charge for managing your pay-per-click campaign. But just note that that monthly charge is charged as long as your pay-per-click campaign is being run. Now, I just want to take a look at some other questions. Someone asked, why do I need pay-per-click if I have good positioning in my local area? That's a really good question because search engine optimization can provide you with good positioning, but more and more companies, search engines, are using more and more space for paid advertising. I think if you remember the slide that I showed, on my particular screen, search engine optimizations don't show up until I hit page down. So having a combination strategy, especially when you're trying to target a specific group, really helps if you augment your search engine optimization with pay-per-click. Also, if you're not doing either right now, pay-per-click is a good way to get started right away to get leads, while search engine optimization and Google indexing and content optimization happen on your website. So it's a really good 1-2 punch strategy to get customers. Let me see. Will you provide suggested AdWords? Great question. Will we provide suggested AdWords? Absolutely. And with our company, because we are focused on accountants, we know what keywords in Google Send, what AdWords work, because we've spent years honing our pay-per-click skills, even for our own site as well as our customer site. So we aren't just a generic pay-per-click company, but we have keywords and keyword groups that are optimized for your particular specialty. And that goes a long way to reducing your cost per click and maximizing your monthly suggested spend. How do I modify my landing page and make conversions more likely and reduce costs from Google? It really comes down to taking a look at your landing page and thinking about what your strategy is in terms of how you want to be found. So if you think about your specialties, think about the types of things that you want to offer, and make sure that you put those keywords in your ad so that Google will find that and put those ads and put those words into the budget. I just want to take a look. So one person asked, is it more effective to use the term accountant or CPA if you want the most targeted campaigns? And that's a really good question. I'll answer it generically. It depends on a lot of factors, your targeted areas, and it's really not just about keywords, but it's about the queries that people put in and really what you want to optimize for. So our PPC specialists don't just put in accountant as a word, but really look at all the words around that as well as some of the targeting in your local area to maximize your particular landing page. And by the way, you can't just create an ad that says accountant, 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 keyword, keyword, keyword. Google is much smarter than that, and really just know you really have to make sure that you are targeting it in the best way. So really taking a look at your competition, taking a look at the specialties and services that are important to you, and then developing a strategy around that. Our PPC specialists, or most companies, PPC specialists are really good about that. We just happen to know what accounting keywords are really accounting and or tax and or bookkeeping or financial planning, all of the keywords associated with the specialties that customers like you offer. Once again, someone asked me, and it's a really good question, is this webinar being recorded? The answer is yes. I hope that you didn't spend a lot of time taking down notes. Just know that the only thing that I'd like you to do is make sure you write down this number that's showing on your screen if you have specific questions about our pay-per-click services, our search engine optimization services, or our social media management services. Our whole goal is to help you, especially as we move into the new year, get more customers. And even if we don't do it ourselves, to help educate you through webinars like this about the value of online marketing in your practice. So I'm just going to take maybe a couple of more minutes and see if you have other questions. Again, someone asked me about sending the recording and the PowerPoint. You need not worry that we will make this recording available to anyone who's attended this webinar. Once again, if you happen to have to leave, I really appreciate everyone spending the time. It's almost been an hour for us on this webinar. I appreciate it if you could take the survey, provide any feedback that you have for us to provide more information and better results, better webinars for you in the future. And thanks for taking the time, and I hope you have a happy holiday. I did have, there's actually someone asked about social media strategy review and how does it fit into PPC and search engine optimization. Another really good question. Just an overview that CPA Site Solutions, we offer pay-per-click services, as I talked about, search engine optimization, and social media management, where we will post relevant content on your social media pages, Twitter and Facebook, so that you can engage your current clients and get them to engage potential clients in your business. So I think we also have a separate webinar on that, and I'd be happy to make sure that everyone gets a copy of that webinar if you ask for that, or look for our webinars. We do these webinars on a regular basis. So please, I think more and more, one thing when it comes to our company is you should take a look at the emails that we send you, because it's not just about something that we're selling you, but it's usually things about informative webinars. We've actually, last month, we actually had a webinar from a partner of ours who talked about the Health Care Act that's coming out, that's changing in 2016. So really trying to provide more information to help you become informed. So once again, thanks everyone. I'm going to stay online for a little bit longer and answer questions online. This ends the audio portion of our webinar. Have a great evening and a great holiday. Thanks.